How are you?
I'm good, man. I'm excited to be on a screen share and a webinar with you for all the Car Motivator followers out there.
I'm excited to participate also and hopefully be able to bring some value and help other people be successful too.
Absolutely. So let's share with our followers the reason we're doing this webinar real quick. I think the goal of this webinar is I hate to call it a webinar, I even hate that word, by the way. Definitely one of those millennial terms we were joking about earlier, right, John? Just kidding. Just kidding, millennial friends. I love you guys. So check it out. The purpose of this webinar is twofold, okay? We want to help people in the auto industry that are in a sales role or want to be in a sales role find the dream dealership job, right? That's number one.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And John that's half of it. Now, John just recently went through this, and he's got a lot of really good insights that I believe if he shared with you guys would help you make sure you're at the right dealership or land at the right dealership, and ultimately even maybe be able to improve the culture you're at now. The other side of the coin here is we want to be able to help the managers that are going to view this, the automotive dealer leadership, find and retain guys like John Conley. And I'll tell you why you want a bunch of John Conleys here. By the end of this webinar, you'll understand, John. And this guy, he's very humble, and I'm probably going to make him blush a few times here. But
yeah, you will.
So let me make a quick introduction here for myself and for John. Most of you guys that are watching this know me. My name is Sean Kelley, the CarBiz coach. Again, I believe leadership's what helped myself and my special operations team survive combat deployment, a couple of combat deployments to Bosnia and Iraq. I took that leadership stuff to the car business, started coaching my guys, decided that that's what I wanted to do for a living. Now my mission is to bring coaching to the car business. So after spending a year as the Chief Business Development Officer of Drive-Centric CRM software, I'm now coaching automotive people like John here across the country, helping them achieve great results in their career and their personal life. So that's my mission. And now John here, I met him on social media because the guy has an amazing presence online. And I was drawn to his enthusiasm and excitement. So John, introduce yourself and tell the Car Motivator followers about you and how you got in the car business.
Hey everyone, John Conley here with Mr. Sean Kelley, carmotivators.com. That's how I start off every video, but I'm 36 years old. I jumped in the car business about 4 years ago. A friend of mine kept bugging me saying you should be a car salesman. I kind of laughed at it. You know, I've done sales before, but all that negative stigmatism about car salesmen, I was just like, come on, get out of here. But anyway, needless to say, that person applied for a job for me and told me I had an interview at 1 o'clock at a Chevy dealer or at a Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram dealer. And so I was job hunting. I went in the car business. So I've been doing it for about 4 years now, and I've been constantly learning and just soaking in knowledge from lots of different avenues and watching the business evolve. It's changing a lot.
Now, what is to share with the group? What are some of the techniques and tools you've used to help you be extremely successful selling cars? Because at your last dealership before you went on the job hunt, you were one of the top salesmen, if not the top, right, John?
That's correct. For a while there, I held top. It took a few months to get there. Being not from the area, I actually moved from Florida to Missouri, so I didn't know anybody when I moved to a very small town. And, you know, a couple years in the business, I did take a little break in the car business because of my experience with previous dealerships. I'm a professional. I've always been in a profession of some sort. So I expected, you know, all the money and six-figure income that they promised, that it's going to be a professional environment. And that's what I wanted.
Very cool. Now, the thing about John is, and again, one of the main reasons we're on this call is because he ended up finding himself looking for a new dealership. Now, I'll tell you this, you guys know I'm kind of choosy about who I work with or who I would coach. I want to spend my time with, I have my ideal client, right? And I'm looking for people who want personal growth and development, people that care about others, people that really want to impact the auto industry in a positive way. Those are some of my ideal traits for people I want to work with. So that's one of the reasons, John, I was gravitated towards you. And I think that, you know, if you were my salesperson at a dealership, I would want to do anything I could within reason to keep you. And you're not one of those top producers who's got that chip on their shoulder or who's not coachable. You would be like the ideal salesperson for me. When I was running a dealership as a general sales manager, I would have killed to have 10 John Conleys on my team. So
I appreciate that.
you're welcome, my friend. So what caused you, some of the things that caused you to leave that last dealership? Or what were some of the challenges there?
So some of the challenges like we face in all kinds of businesses are the need for changes, because businesses are constantly evolving. I mean, we see a lot of brick and mortars going out of business. Toys R Us shutting down because of internet, online stuff. And so the car business is kind of taking that same direction. Personal branding, if some of you guys are familiar, I'm sure you see a lot of other salesmen out there trying to make their own brand and bring their own audience to where they work. And so it was very important for me to, have that change embraced and catered and actually even help me to grow even more because now that I started growing, if my dealership will promote me also and push and drive and support what I'm trying to do in the changes, it's a win-win. I mean, I win, they win. There's no lose there. So change is very important.
And so what I'm hearing is that, if you felt like you could grow where you're at and you felt like they supported you in your efforts because you were doing some, unique, newer, I guess you could say strategies for growing your own business. You're not relying on the up bus or the walk-ins and the internet leads as you were bringing in your own business. So everything you do, your cost of acquisition of your customers is basically zero. You're bringing in found business. You're self-sufficient because you're very lightweight on the managers because they don't have to babysit what you're doing, right? So I guess the fact that they tried to steer you away from that is just, it baffles my mind. And it's funny because I've seen both sides of the spectrum. Like I've seen dealerships where they really push people they're like, why won't they do social media? And they're frustrated because salespeople won't do it. And then dealers that are like, no, we don't want salespeople having their own brand and doing things on their own. We want you to be, fall in line with our dealership and not do anything out of the ordinary. So I've seen both sides of it. But
fear.
Do what?
I think it's fear, Sean. And what they say, fear everything and run, or face everything and rise. My previous dealer was just, afraid. 75 years, 4 generations, doing the same thing over and over. And seeing this change, it was almost intimidating. People were asking me, or did you open up a dealership? And I was trying to explain, and if we would market appropriately, we could help understand that, we are responsible for our clients that we advise. I'm a client advisor. I'm not a bell-bottom wearing salesman from the 70s with a black book in my pocket. I want to help people to understand the car buying, educate them. And you asked me earlier where I got some of my influence from. Really, I went to a 6-figure sales conference with John Dawson. Alan Dickey is another great guy there. If you ever seen them, definitely look them up if you haven't. I know you have John Dawson, but Alan Dickey also. Those guys, I just soaked in a lot from them, and they were really focusing on the social media portion of it about 1.5 years ago, and that's when I did my first video. I think it was October of 17, somewhere around there.
Oh, it's funny you said about the black book. I keep one in my basement. And the reason
that thing.
No, this is a reminder. I use it in a prop. It's from 2009 when the economy tanked.
Okay.
But I use it to show sales managers. I'm like, hey, we can't recruit, hire, onboard, and train salespeople the way we did back in 2009. We've got to change. This is out of date. You know what I mean? Now there's like the yacht, and there's all this other cool technology.
Live market values.
Right. We got to upgrade the way we sell cars, the way we lead our salespeople too, right? So I use it as a prop, actually. It's funny you said that.
That's funny.
Yeah. And now check this out. Between jobs, you left the dealership because of your personal brand and the things you had done online. When the dealers found out you were leaving, I mean, you were getting job offers left and right?
My phone actually did pretty much explode. And I think the word took a little bit longer than I expected, even a week after when I was ready to make a decision. Remember, we bumped into each other, and you started really helping me narrow down and help me to understand, because my mind was very clouded, Sean. I mean, I was very excited for the change and the opportunities coming my way, but at the same time, I didn't have a clear focus. I just wanted to jump in there. I was antsy to help somebody buy a car and do another video. But having the time that we spent together and the questions that you told me to ask, and my expectations from the dealership that I was going to go work from, having those clear expectations and talking to some of the salespeople internally, which I did do, like you suggested, really helped me, because one of the dealerships, I was up by 2 salespeople, and I did that. I asked them how it was there, and right away they went into negativity and told me this and that and negative, and it was like, maybe this isn't going to be the right dealership. So you gave me some great ideas and techniques to help me narrow down that.
Well, I'm glad you saw a ton of value in that coaching conversation. It's crazy how, and I've seen this in working with dealers across the country, how it's like the goal of a job interview for a lot of dealers out there is to sell the person on the job and try to get them hired so they can see if they make it. I think that creates just tremendous challenges, because how many people are you going to bring in to the dealership that aren't a good fit? And if it's not a good fit,
exactly right. I mean, I can be a successful salesman here, but if I jump into a dealership over here and we're not communicating, I could sell 5 cars a month because I want to do this, they want to do that, and it doesn't work. I could find myself bouncing from dealer to dealer to dealer, instead of, like you helped me do, was sit down, take a piece of paper. I wrote pros and cons down. I asked these dealers the right questions. I interviewed a dealer for the first time in my life, and I wasn't nervous about it. I knew what I had to bring, and I had to see if we're going to be a fit. Can I bring what I've got to bring to the table? I mean, I know what I'm capable of doing in the right dealership. And by the way, I found a great match with the dealership that I aligned with. I couldn't ask for a better pair. It is absolutely, so far, the dream job. And next month, I'm going to put up Quest for 30 again. And this is only my 2nd month going to be in a new dealership. And I'm just going to do it, Sean. There's just going to do it.
There's no doubt. And I believe that you're going to far surpass 30 in the near future, my friend.
Sure.
So that's very exciting. And I think that you struck a great point. I remember I asked you, I said, so, be selfish here, tell me your ideal dream job. And you told me, and I said, okay, so when you go into a job interview, I asked you, what is the objective for you as the person being interviewed? And you were like, to get the job. And I was like, no, it's not. It's to see if it's a good fit. I think we as managers and as the person looking for the job at a dealership, we have to go into these things, these interviews, not with an agenda, not to get hired, not to hire someone, but just to see if it's a good fit. And when you do that and you detach yourself from the outcome, you can really find good employees and not that it's not, people aren't good, everyone's good, right? But are they good for the culture? Are they good for the place? Part of my focus is, when I work with dealerships, is to talk about creating a winning culture. Part of it is clarity around expectations. Like, is it okay if John does his social media stuff at my dealership?
Right.
Is that a good fit or not? So you found out all the things that you want to do, you can do here. There's the opportunity for growth. And ultimately, you've got the autonomy to do your thing, and that makes you, John, a happy guy at the dealership. Safe to say.
Absolutely. The one thing that makes me the happiest, Sean, and I also went to the Rockstar Auto Conference in Las Vegas a few weeks ago. I don't know if you've heard of that. Matt Koenig puts that on. It's his 4th year doing that. He brought in a lot of great speakers there. And all of these speakers who are on the top, they're very successful in what they do. They all said one thing: customer number one. And being able to be aligned with a dealership, and a dealership understanding, what does that mean, customer number one? There's a lot of expectations from a customer when they make a big purchase, like a vehicle from a dealership after the sale. It's not just a sale.
I completely agree. I think and that's one of the reasons for your success and your massive amount of referrals you generate, is because of your customer service. And I'm really glad you brought up Rockstar Auto Conference. You obviously haven't gotten the memo, and actually no one has, because I haven't announced it, but it's being announced today in my Facebook group and online. I will be speaking at Rockstar Auto Conference, at least 3 of them this year.
Awesome.
So I'm going to be speaking there. In fact, the first one I want to invite you guys to, everyone viewing this, please sign up. We would love to have you attend. I'm going to be sharing the stage with some amazing speakers like Frank Lopes and Matt Koenig.
Frank Lopes, awesome.
Yep, and a few others, and it's going to be a great show. I'm going to be speaking on my military background and my leadership background in the auto industry. I'll be speaking on winning the war on challenge leadership, how frontline employees can identify and overcome some of the leadership challenges they may face, and how managers can handle all the different challenges that a manager faces as a manager and a sales leader in the auto industry, because they're pulled in so many different directions, and there's extreme pressure from the OEM and from your dealership, and your salespeople are often frustrated. So there's a lot of big challenges I'm going to help people overcome, winning the war on challenge leadership. So yeah, that's at Rockstar Auto Conference. I can't wait to share that new presentation with everyone there. It's a new presentation, never been done before. I'm excited about that. So
definitely get the word out, Sean. And if anybody hears the word Rockstar Auto Conference, they have to go. I mean, they need to go to their GM and say, look, I want to go to this. I don't know what it's about. Everybody's talking about it. But seriously, that really changed me a lot, Sean. It did. Those speakers on that stage, Sherry Wynn, if you've heard of her, these people are very knowledgeable, and we all crave knowledge because knowledge is power. It's going to help us grow our business. And attending something like this is very, very, very important. If somebody can get there for sure. I'll be there. Where's it at?
So yeah, it's in Nashville, actually.
Cool.
August 12th, 13th, it's in Nashville, Tennessee. So I will have a link. Actually, I'll post a link at the end of this or in the comments for people to go and buy tickets. So I will put that out there. And I think they've got a special right now. If a manager buys a ticket, they get a free ticket for a salesperson too. So that's pretty cool. Yep. Hey, by the way, also Car Motivators, in my Car Motivators Facebook group, we're going to do a contest, which will give away some free tickets too. Now, that being said, what are your final thoughts for, give the salespeople watching this, John, your best piece of advice for being able to land at the perfect dream job and make sure that they're able to do what they do best, have the autonomy. Well, what would you give them, your best piece of advice?
My best piece of advice would be, look at your situation, where you're at now. Think about, are you happy? If you're not happy where you're at, what would make you happy? And before you go jumping dealerships, just walk up to your general manager, pull them in private, tell them what your fire, your passion, your desire is, and see what kind of response you get. And general managers watching this, if somebody comes to you with a fire in their stomach because they see something that's not happening and they want to go far, embrace them, pick them up, and help get them there. Because if you don't do it, the next GM is going to do it. And those people are passionate and they're going to work hard. There's no losing there, but stand up for where you're at right now and decide, am I happy? And don't be afraid to ask, because if you don't ask, then you're just going to stay status quo.
You don't ask for it, you can't get it, right? Right, John?
Can't get it.
And my best piece of advice, I guess, on this topic for managers is, number one, never shut off the recruitment pipeline, okay? Because if you recruit out of desperation when you need bodies, you're going to hire the wrong individuals, and you will go into your job interviews with the agenda to get someone hired, okay? So always have that recruitment funnel open, okay? And don't go into the interviews with intent to hire someone and see if they work. Go into them to determine if it's a good fit up front. And then when you bring someone in, their chance of making it goes up significantly. Safe to say, John?
Safe to say. Absolutely agree.
Well, hey, guys, listen, Car Motivator followers, John, I want to thank you. It's been a true pleasure. Thanks for sharing some of your wisdom and some of the, sometimes you got to get a little vulnerable in these conversations. And sure. I appreciate you sharing that wisdom with the Car Motivator followers. I really do. And Car Motivator followers, listen, you guys know where you can reach me. Don't forget, if you don't have my number, you can download my app. There's a link to that in my Facebook group. You can text me or message me anytime, 24 hours a day. People hit me up all day. I always get back with you within a few hours. John, safe to say?
I'd say you're on it. I mean, I talked to you in the airport. You were coaching me in between flights.
I try to remember that. So I'm always available for you guys if you need anything. And I want for you to find top guys like John. And when you have those people, I want you to be able to retain them. So hopefully this webinar is going to help you with that. And then people out there looking for that dream job, that dream dealership, hopefully John's advice will help you land it. John, any parting thoughts for our friends, buddy?
Make it a rock star day. Just go out there and grind and get it. No one's going to hand it to you. You got to go work hard, pick up the phone, follow the process.
All right. Very cool.
Educate yourself. Keep learning.
Keep learning and growing, my friends. That is great advice. This is Sean Kelley, the Carbiz Coach, signing out. We'll see you guys again soon.